Riders have won on Ross for the last 3 years, but significantly every time the Soviets have entered, they have won. And their squad this year is reckoned to be very strong. Niall Cowdery now reports on 2 of the stages, beginning with Tuesday's trip from Tuam to Tipperary town.
104 riders gathered here in Tuam on Tuesday morning for the 4th stage of the 1989 FBD Milk RAS.
We've got a very, very strong tailwind, so it should be long line outs, fast racing, you know. Should be good.
I'm 2 minutes down, but I suppose I can still do it. I mean, this race is so difficult to judge. You know, a group can go up the road and take 5 minutes out.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, the group, there were 20 riders, and it took like 3.5 minutes out of the group, out of the bunch, and nobody thought they were going to come back, but they did. So I'm just going to have to stay in the front groups.
Who do you fancy to win it then?
I'd fancy one of the Russians, I think, number 6.
Or what if we're going to win the Munster Hurling Final?
I hope so.
Declan Lanigan had won Monday's 3rd stage from Boyle to bring him up to 5th place in the general classification as he left Tuam. The overall leader at the start of day 4 was Britain's John Tanner, who had a 16-second lead over Stephen Delaney, with the Soviet Union's Robert Vinovsky lying 3rd. Wind was always going to be a factor in this year's Ross, and the trip south to Tipperary town was going to be helped by a strong tailwind. So far the stages had been relatively flat, and today the most difficult obstacle would be at Bolingbroke, later in the stage, where the riders would encounter a Category 3 climb. We see here the Dutch number 9 René Jukes at the back of the peloton, looking behind at his teammate René Bowen, who has already been in need of a service. But better that it should happen now than in the more crucial later stages of the day. Anyway, the Dutchman rejoined the group and made his way back up towards the front, where he would find that there had been a number of moves off the front of the peloton. This is the 2nd group that have slipped away, among them John Sheehan of Dublin, leader of the points classification in the green jersey. These 4 men, as you see, are working hard to close up on the leading group. And these are the 3-stage leaders. Terry Jackson from Southend is number 26. In the middle of the trio is Brian Lenihan from Cork, and Paul Miller is the New Zealander bringing up the rear on bike number 18. Ex-Ross rider Gabriel Howard told us how stage 4 was shaping up.
Which includes the yellow jersey, of course, you know. And the Russians are all back there as well. So I presume the Russians do a lot of hard riding to get up here. Sorry? Oh, Beetle win the All-Ireland, never mind win the Leinster.
So only 30 seconds separating the breakaway groups, but that was cut to nothing when the leaders decided to wait up and have a snack. Or part of a snack. So up came the chasers, one of whom was not impressed at having to do so much chasing.
What? These are all stupid, they are. They don't know how to ride their bikes. I think they're in a one-day race.
Straight talk, but remember, this is not a sport for the faint-hearted. Incidentally, at this stage, this group was over 4 minutes clear of the pack, which meant that John Sheehan was now the FBD Milk RAS leader on the road. But a lot could happen. It was a long way to Tipperary yet. The first preem on stage 4 was at Killimer, where Lenihan, riding for Cork Ballyclaw, led the field through ahead of Sheehan of the Dublin Abracababra team. The presence of a British Cycling Federation car is an indication that the event has achieved full recognition as a first-class international event. So what's been happening in the pack? Well, not much, except that the Soviet, Robert Vanovsky, third placed at the beginning of the day, has been tracking John Tanner in the yellow jersey. This is Dainis Ozoles, another powerful Soviet. And the man with the wave, Dutchman Mario van Berle, another to keep an eye on. So Tanner's teammates are doing all the hard riding at the front to haul back the breakaways.
3 minutes now.
Number 14 is Ian Wright. 15 is Rob Langley. 16, Paul Barrett. And watching Ozoles is Paul McQuaid, number 4, riding for Ireland.